Okay. If you garden, you probably know me. If you don't, you eat. So talking about gardening when it's 5 degrees might make sense to you. But I work for the University of Alaska Cooperative Extension Service, and we teach classes and do workshops and hold conferences and do a lot of non-credit education. So you are what you eat is probably what your mother told you, and there's a lot of interest in gardening in our community. So Anchorage has a lot going for it in terms of horticulture. We started out as the City of Lights, and I believe this was before your time, Mayor Maestrom, although you certainly helped promote it. And lights have to do with horticulture because many of our trees are beautifully illuminated at this time of year. We do a very good job with it. We've also been noted to be the Tree City Ewing SA designation. And I think what everybody knows us for is our flowers. So we have a number of wonderful resources. The Alaska Botanical Garden, which is on city property. We have probably 12 different gardening clubs. We are a community of gardening fools. We have private industry, private businesses. This is Abel Locksmith. If you want to talk how to grow hot peppers, all you have to do is walk into the shop there. We have people growing potatoes in their front yard between the road and the sidewalk. People growing plants in their driveways when they have nowhere else to garden. We have people wild harvesting, collecting dandelion roots to grow. And we've even got on the chicken bandwagon, and the city changes in Title 21 and now make it legal to raise chickens. I guess you grow plants, you raise chickens, but the ducks, you got to stay away from the ducks. They're not legal. All right, so what is this phenomena that we see occurring when it comes to horticultural endeavors? I mean, I'm looking at the audience here thinking, well, some of you were probably around in the 60s and 70s, and the mantra there was, grow your own. And I know somebody's giggling there because they're thinking of probably illegal substances. But when I first got here in 1984, people would come up to Cooperative Extension Service and roll seeds across the counter and say, this is good stuff. The experiment station should be working on this. And the police officers would come with poppies, wondering if these were opium poppies, the same poppies that we use to make poppy seed bread with. But the mantra today is definitely eat local. And even National Geographic has gotten into the I guess the trend, this whole movement that's occurring, and has a book on fresh produce. So eat local is the mantra. We have, let's see, my point, there it is. Health kick tomatoes. So vegetables are being bred that have higher nutrition. So why am I talking about gardening here when we're talking about the state of our city? Well, for one thing, plants are associated with our traditions and cultures. And former Assemblyman Alan Teshi talked about our horticultural heritage, that plants are important. And we even had discussions of tried to put horticulture into the city's charter. This is me with my gladiola version. I grew up in a funeral home. I don't like gladiolas. But gardening is a way to preserve culture, and so it is important to the fabric of our city. This is a Min woman who just showed up in a rainy day over at the McPhee Street Community Gardens a few years ago. Now, you might not like Brussels sprouts, but I'm sure that the tradition may exist for some of you. These were harvested and in the Matt Valley and sold locally. So, And of course, when it comes to tradition, you know, our kids are part of our future, and if they learn to garden, they will continue that throughout their life. So Cooperative Extension has offices throughout the state, and we are part of this land grant system where in 1862, with the Morrill Act, created a practical college. The Hatch Act, the Smith-Lever Act, created Cooperative Extension Service, and that, is what, I don't know, makes Cooperative Extension Service unusual in that we're faculty members at the university, but we teach primarily, you know, non-credit courses and practical things for making life better. So cooperative comes from not, you know, agricultural cooperatives, but it comes from the fact that our sources of funding are cooperative. State, federal, and local funding in most states, but in Anchorage, we receive no local funding. So we're very unusual in this throughout the state. This is a map of Circumpolar Region that was shared at an agricultural conference from people from the polar north. And Rick, thank you for bringing this. I'm just not used to the location of these buttons. The big circles are the cities where population is growing the fastest. And you can see that Anchorage is one of those. So where there is people, there must be food. And food security is an issue. So our current food system, you've all heard, you know, we don't have much of a supply of food on the shelves. Our food in Anchorage also includes wild harvest, and access to healthy, fresh foods is important, you know, for people and for our community. So locally grown food is important, even though it's only a small part of this, and people learning to garden can be part of this food security system. So there's been a strong interest in organic gardening, and I think the real issue is that we have an urban population that doesn't necessarily have room to grow the food that it needs. This is city parkland, the McPhee Street, over on McPhee Street next to the community gardens. This is the Refugee Farmers Market Project that is on city land and was done in conjunction with lots of donors. Partnership is between RACE, Refugee Assistance and Immigration Services, and Catholic Social, which is part of Catholic Social Services and Cooperative Extension. City provides the land, city provides the water. It's a fabulous garden. And when it comes, you know, to gardening, there aren't a lot of issues. And I think accessibility to land is a big one. And I think that if we're going to grow more food in Anchorage, we need more garden space. And I guess in terms of positing a solution to, you know, not having enough food, I would like to suggest that, you know, the city be progressive and look at possibilities for providing land that its citizens can use to produce their own food. The University of Alaska, in this particular case, has plowed the garden. We've got 11 farmers markets in Anchorage right now. And this is phenomenal given, you know, 20 years ago we didn't have any. You know, issue here is we don't even have enough farmers, you know, to fill the demand for all the communities within Anchorage that would like to see a farmer's market in their locale. So I'm seeing a diversity of shoppers at the markets that I go to. The master gardeners are part of my volunteer force, and with Without them, there wouldn't be as many people gardening. They do phenomenal things. This was a size 11 potato growing by one of them. And their association is meeting tonight. They do a project with the Anchorage Pioneer Home. So I guess in closing, you can call me if you have problems with slugs, but we have a lot of, in a couple of weeks, on customer service for people that are in the tourist industry. And I would just like to leave you with this thought that gardening is not just the cultivation of plants, it's the cultivation of human beings. And so to keep our community vibrant, I think we need to continue to do things that will help to promote not only raising food, but keeping our city beautiful. Thank you. I don't know, you were going to pull the hook on me.